Hello, friends. Welcome back to Old Coins News. Today we're diving into some of the most iconic United States 1-cent coins, the legendary Lincoln Wheat Pennies from 1951D, 1953D, 1956, and the final year 1958D issue. These coins may look small and simple, but they carry powerful history. Featuring Abraham Lincoln, the words liberty and in God we trust, and the classic wheat reverse design, these pennies represent the final chapter of a historic American coin era. Are they rare? Are they valuable? And could one of these coins in your collection be worth more than face value? Stay with us as we explore full details, mint history, mintage numbers, varieties, and current market values. Let's get started. The United States of America 1 cent. 1951D Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the classic mid-20th century American coins that continues to attract collectors worldwide. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, officially known as a Lincoln Wheat Cent, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. The year 1951 represents a mature stage of this long-running series, and the D mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. By 1951, the Lincoln Cent design had already become one of the most recognized coin designs in American history, and millions of Americans handled these coins daily in ordinary commerce, unaware that decades later they would become collectible historical artifacts. The obverse front of the 1951D penny features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait was designed by Lithuanian-American sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear on the reverse of the bottom rim, though small and sometimes faint on worn examples. The Lincoln Cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical person instead of symbolic figure. On the upper rim of the obverse, the word Liberty appears to the left of Lincoln's portrait. To the right of Lincoln, you will see the date 1951 followed by a small D mint mark just below the date, signifying Denver production. Above Lincoln's head is a national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that had already been appearing on U.S. coins since the Civil War era and became mandatory on most denominations in the 20th century. The reverse back of the 1951D cent displays the inscription United States of America along the top curve and 1 cent in large bold letters at the center. Just above 1 cent is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. On both sides of the reverse design are two stylized wheat stalks, which give the coin its popular nickname, Wheat Penny. These wheat ears symbolize prosperity and agricultural strength, reflecting America's farming heritage during the early 20th century. The reverse design remained consistent from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial design to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. In terms of composition, the 1951D Lincoln Wheat Penny is made primarily of copper. Specifically, it consists of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. The edge of the coin is plain, smooth, without reeds. Because of its high copper content, many older Lincoln Wheat Cents have developed a brown patina over time due to oxidation. Collectors often categorize these coins by color: red Rhode, red-brown RB, and brown BN. A fully red 1951D cent in high mint state condition is more desirable and valuable than a brown circulated example. The mintage of the 1951D Lincoln cent was very large. The Denver Mint produced over 625 million pieces that year. This high mintage means the coin is relatively common in circulated condition today. However, finding sharply struck, uncirculated examples with strong original luster can be more challenging. The Denver Mint in the early 1950s sometimes produced coins with slightly softer strikes compared to Philadelphia issues, so collectors look carefully at Lincoln's hair details and the wheat stalk lines to judge strike quality. Coins with full detail, minimal marks, and bright original mint luster are the most prized. Historically, 1951 was a significant period in American history. The United States was deeply involved in the Korean War, and the post-World War II economic expansion was shaping modern American society. Copper was still an important industrial metal, and although there were no major composition changes in 1951 like those seen during World War II, such as the 1943 steel cents, the demand for coinage remained strong due to economic growth and increasing consumer activity. The 1951 D penny circulated widely during a time when 1 cent still had meaningful purchasing power compared to today. When discussing value, most circulated 1951 D pennies are worth only slightly above face value, mainly because of their high mintage and survival rate. In worn condition, good to fine, they are generally worth a small premium for copper content and collector interest. In extremely fine condition, they carry a modest collector value. However, in mint state grades such as MS65 or higher, particularly with full red color, the value increases significantly. Professional grading services carefully examine surface preservation, strike sharpness, luster, and color designation. High-grade examples certified by major grading companies can sell for notable premiums compared to raw coins. Collectors should also be aware of possible errors or varieties. While the 1951D is not famous for major dramatic errors, minor die cracks, repunch mint marks, and off-center strikes can occasionally be found. Error coins are always worth examining carefully, especially if they display unusual doubling, clip planches, or broad strikes. Authentication is important when evaluating unusual pieces, as damage can sometimes be mistaken for mint errors. From a long-term numismatic perspective, the 1951D Lincoln wheat penny represents the final decade of the wheat reverse era. By 1958, the wheat design would be retired, making all wheat cents a closed historical series. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete date and mint sets from 1909 through 1958, and the 1951D is a necessary component of that collection. Because you have shown strong interest in detailed coin histories before, especially historical coin designs, this 1951D fits perfectly into the broader story of 20th century coinage evolution. Visually, the coin has a classic warm copper appearance when well preserved. In high grade, you can observe the delicate lines in Lincoln's hair and beard, along with sharply defined wheat grains on the reverse. The rim should be full and even, and the field's flat background areas should show minimal contact marks in better examples. Original mint luster often appears as a subtle cartwheel shine that rotates under light. The United States of America 1 cent, 1953D Lincoln wheat penny is a classic mid-20th century American coin that represents the final years of the famous wheatback design. This coin belongs to the long-running Lincoln wheat cent series, which was issued from 1909 until 1958. The year 1953 falls near the end of this historic design period, just a few years before the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. The D mint mark on the coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main U.S. mint facilities responsible for producing circulating coinage for the western United States. Even though the 1953D penny is considered common in circulated grades, it remains an important collectible because it forms part of one of the most popular coin series in American numismatic history. On the obverse front of the 1953D Lincoln cent, you will see the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait was created by renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner and was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This was a historic moment in American coinage because it marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular issue U.S. circulating coin. Before Lincoln cents, most U.S. coins featured symbolic figures like Lady Liberty rather than actual presidents. The inscription "In God We Trust" appears along the upper rim above Lincoln's head. To the left of the portrait is the word Liberty, and to the right appears the date 1953 followed by the small D mint mark beneath the date. The design is simple, balanced, and powerful, symbolizing national unity, trust in God, and respect for one of America's greatest leaders. The reverse back of the 1953D penny carries a traditional wheat design that gave this coin its nickname, the wheat penny. At the top edge, you will read United States of America. Centered in bold lettering is 1 cent, and above it is a Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. On both sides of the reverse are 2 curved wheat stalks that frame the central text. These wheat ears represent America's agricultural strength and prosperity during the early 20th century. This reverse design remained unchanged from 1909 until 1958, making it one of the longest-running reverse designs in U.S. coinage history. In 1959, the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design to honor Lincoln's 150th birth anniversary, making all wheat cents, including the 1953 D, a completed historical series. In terms of technical specifications, the 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The coin has a plain, smooth edge, unlike reeded edge coins such as quarters and dimes. Because of its high copper content, many examples have developed a brown or reddish-brown patina over time due to oxidation. Collectors categorize these coins by color designation: brown BN, red brown RB, and red road. Red coins that retain most of their original mint luster are generally more valuable, especially in higher mint state grades. The original luster often appears as a bright, reflective, cartwheel-like shine when tilted under light. The mintage of the 1953 D Lincoln cent was substantial. The Denver Mint struck over 700 million pieces that year, making it a very common coin in circulated condition. Because of this large production number, worn examples are easy to find and typically carry only a small premium above face value. However, uncirculated examples in high mint state grades, especially those graded MS65 or higher with full red color, are more desirable among collectors. Strike quality can vary, and some Denver issues from the early 1950s are known for slightly softer details compared to Philadelphia issues. Collectors often examine Lincoln's hair above the ear and the fine lines of the wheat stalks to judge how sharply the coin was struck. The historical context of 1953 adds additional interest to the coin. In that year, the United States saw the inauguration of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, marking a new era in post-World War II America. The Korean War was nearing its end, and the nation was experiencing economic expansion and industrial growth. 1 cent in 1953 had far more purchasing power than it does today. Pennies were commonly used in daily transactions, vending machines, public telephones, and small purchases. These coins passed through countless hands in grocery stores, gas stations, and markets, serving as small but important tools of commerce during a transformative period in American history. When evaluating the value of a 1953 D penny, condition is the most important factor. In circulated grades such as good, G4, or very fine, VIA20, the coin may show significant wear on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalk details. These examples are usually worth only a modest amount above face value. In extremely fine EF condition, more details remain visible, increasing the coin's appeal. Mint state coins, which show no wear from circulation, are graded from MS60 to MS70 based on surface preservation, strike, luster, and eye appeal. High-grade red examples certified by professional grading services can command significantly higher prices compared to common circulated pieces. Although the 1953 D is not widely known for dramatic mint errors, minor varieties and error coins do exist. These can include off-center strikes, die cracks, repunch mint marks, or minor doubling. Collectors carefully inspect coins under magnification to identify such features. Authentic error coins can bring strong premiums depending on their severity and rarity. However, it is important to distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage, which does not add collectible value. From a collector's perspective, the 1953 D Lincoln wheat penny is an essential date for anyone building a complete set of wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. While it may not be rare, its inclusion helps complete the historical timeline of the series. Many collectors enjoy assembling full date and mintmark sets, and the 1953 D represents the early 1950s chapter of that story. Because wheat cents are affordable and historically meaningful, they are often recommended as an excellent starting point for new coin collectors. Visually, a well-preserved 1953 D penny has a rich copper glow. In red uncirculated condition, the coin can appear almost golden orange with vibrant shine. The rim should be full and even, and the lettering should be sharp and clear. On worn examples, the high points, such as Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair, show smoothing, while the wheat stalks on the reverse may lose fine detail. Even so, many collectors appreciate circulated examples because they represent coins that truly served in everyday American life. The United States of America 1 cent, 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the final issues of the historic wheatback design that dominated American small cent coinage for nearly half a century. This coin is part of the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which began in 1909 and concluded in 1958. By 1956, the wheat cent design was already an American classic, instantly recognizable by its portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks on the back. The year 1956 represents the late stage of this iconic design, just 3 years before the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. Because of this, the 1956 penny holds special importance as one of the last representatives of the original wheat reverse era. On the obverse front of the 1956 cent appears a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was chosen in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth, making this coin historically significant as the first regular-issue U.S. coin to depict an actual historical figure rather than a symbolic liberty image. The portrait was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB appear in small letters at the bottom of the reverse near the rim, though they are often difficult to see without magnification. The obverse inscriptions include "In God We Trust" along the top rim, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's portrait, and the date 1956 to the right. If there is a small mint mark below the date, it indicates the mint where the coin was produced. In 1956, pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint with a D mint mark. The reverse of the 1956 penny displays the classic wheat design that gives the series its popular nickname, the Wheat Penny. Along the upper rim is the inscription United States of America. Centered prominently is 1 cent, and above it is a Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. 2 stylized wheat stalks curve upward along the left and right edges, framing the text. These wheat stalks symbolize agricultural prosperity and the strength of American farming traditions. The reverse design remained unchanged from 1909 until it was replaced in 1959 with a Lincoln Memorial design. Because of this, collectors often view 1956 as part of the final chapter of the wheat reverse story. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1956 Lincoln cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The edge is plain, meaning it has a smooth surface without reading. Due to its high copper content, the coin often develops natural toning over time. Freshly struck examples originally had a bright orange-red color. As the copper oxidizes, the coin may turn red-brown and eventually brown. Collectors classify these coins into 3 color categories: red, Rhode, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. Full red coins in uncirculated condition are typically more desirable and valuable, especially when they display strong original mint luster. The mintage of the 1956 penny was extremely high, reflecting the strong demand for coinage during the post-war economic boom. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 420 million pieces, while the Denver Mint struck over 1 billion coins in 1956. This makes the 1956 D one of the most common wheat cents in existence. Because of this high production, circulated examples are easy to find and usually carry only modest premiums above face value. However, coins in high mint state grades, especially those graded MS65 or above with full red color, can command significantly higher prices due to the difficulty of preserving copper coins in pristine condition for decades. Historically, 1956 was a period of prosperity and growth in the United States. The nation was experiencing strong economic expansion, suburban development, and technological progress during the presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower. 1 cent in 1956 had considerably more purchasing power than it does today. Pennies were widely used in vending machines, public telephones, candy purchases, and daily retail transactions. The 1956 Lincoln cent circulated heavily in American commerce, passing through millions of hands in grocery stores, gas stations, and small businesses. Each surviving coin is therefore a small piece of everyday mid-20th century American life. From a numismatic perspective, collectors evaluate the 1956 penny based on condition, strike quality, luster, and surface preservation. In circulated grades such as good, G4, or very fine, VIA20, the coin will show noticeable wear on Lincoln's cheek, jaw, and hair, as well as reduced detail in the wheat stalks. In extremely fine, EF, condition, most details remain visible with only light wear on high points. Mint state coins show no wear from circulation and are graded on a scale from MS60 to MS70. High-grade coins are carefully examined for contact marks, carbon spots, and overall eye appeal. Copper coins are especially sensitive to spotting and discoloration, which can affect value. Although the 1956 cent is not known for major dramatic errors like the famous 1955 double die, minor varieties and errors can still be found. These may include repunched mint marks on some 1956 D coins, small die cracks, off-center strikes, or clip planches. Collectors often use magnification to search for such features. Genuine mint errors can carry strong premiums, but it is important to distinguish them from post-mint damage. Authentication by reputable grading services is recommended for coins that appear unusual or potentially valuable. Another interesting aspect of the 1956 Lincoln cent is its place within the broader Lincoln cent timeline. After 1958, the wheat reverse was discontinued, and the Lincoln Memorial design replaced it in 1959. This means the 1956 penny belongs to the final 3 years of wheatback production, 1956 to 1958. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete date and mintmark sets of wheat cents from 1909 to 1958. The 1956 issue, while common, is an essential component of that set. Because it is affordable and widely available, it is often one of the easier coins to obtain in high-grade condition compared to earlier, scarcer dates. Visually, a well-preserved 1956 penny can be very attractive. In red uncirculated condition, it may display a bright copper-orange glow with a cartwheel luster effect that rotates under light. The rim should be sharp and complete, and the lettering crisp and clear. Lincoln's facial features should show full detail, particularly in the hair above the ear. On the reverse, the wheat line should be distinct and well-defined. Even circulated examples, with their darker brown tones and gentle wear, possess historical charm and character. The United States of America 1 cent, 1958 D Lincoln wheat penny holds a very special place in American numismatic history because it represents the final year of the original wheat reverse design. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which began in 1909 and ended in 1958. After 1958, the reverse design was permanently changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. Because of this, the 1958 D penny is considered the closing chapter of nearly 50 years of wheat cent production. While it is a common coin in circulated grades due to high mintage, its historical importance as a last wheatback year gives it lasting significance among collectors. On the obverse front of the 1958 D Lincoln cent appears a familiar right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln was chosen in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of his birth, making this the first regular circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of a symbolic liberty figure. The portrait was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is a national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of his portrait is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1958. Just below the date appears a small D mint mark, indicating that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint produced a very large number of cents in 1958 to meet the heavy demand of a growing post-war economy. The reverse, back, of the 1958 D penny features the classic wheat design that gave the series its nickname, Wheat Penny. At the top rim, the inscription reads United States of America. In the center, bold lettering states 1 cent. Above that appears a Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. 2 wheat stalks curve along the left and right edges, framing the central text. These wheat stalks symbolize agricultural abundance and national prosperity. Since this was a final year of the wheat design, 1958 D cents represent the end of an era that had lasted almost half a century. In 1959, the reverse was redesigned to display the Lincoln Memorial, marking a significant shift in American coin design. The 1958 D Lincoln cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the standard bronze alloy used for most Lincoln wheat cents, except during the steel cent year of 1943. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain, smooth edge. Because of its high copper content, the coin is susceptible to oxidation, which causes color changes over time. Collectors classify copper cents into 3 color categories: red, Rhode, red-brown, RB, and brown, BN. Red coins retain most of their original bright copper color and are typically more valuable, especially in higher mint state grades. Brown coins are darker due to oxidation and are more common in circulated condition. The mintage of the 1958 D cent was extremely high, with over 800 million coins produced at the Denver Mint alone. Philadelphia also produced over 250 million coins in 1958 without a mint mark. Because of this large production, the 1958 D penny is widely available today. In circulated grades such as good or fine, the coin is generally worth only slightly above face value. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those graded MS65 or higher with full red color, can carry significantly higher premiums. High-grade copper coins are challenging to preserve because they easily develop spots, discoloration, or small contact marks over decades. Historically, 1958 was a time of economic growth and cultural transformation in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Cold War era, and technological advancements were accelerating. American households were expanding into suburbs, consumer goods were in high demand, and coin production was necessary to support growing commerce. The penny in 1958 still had meaningful purchasing power, commonly used in vending machines, small retail transactions, and everyday purchases. Millions of 1958 D cents circulated heavily through grocery stores, gas stations, and businesses across America. From a collecting standpoint, the 1958 D penny is often one of the easiest wheat cents to obtain due to its high mintage. However, its importance lies in its position as the final wheat reverse year. Many collectors build complete sets of wheat cents from 1909 to 1958, and the 1958 D marks the conclusion of that historic run. Owning a 1958 D wheat cent is like holding the last chapter of a long-running story in American coinage history. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1958 Lincoln cent is the existence of an extremely rare variety known as the 1958 double dial buzz, without mint mark, Philadelphia issue. Although this variety does not apply to the 1958 D specifically, it has brought additional attention to the 1958 date as a whole. The double die variety shows strong doubling on the inscriptions and is considered one of the rarest Lincoln cent errors ever discovered. The 1958 D does not share this dramatic variety, but collectors still examine 1958 coins carefully for minor errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and repunch mint marks. When evaluating a 1958 D cent, collectors focus on several key features. The strike quality should be examined carefully. Lincoln's hair above the ears should show clear separation lines, and the wheat stalk details on the reverse should be sharp. The rim should be complete and even. In uncirculated examples, original mint luster often appears as a cartwheel effect when rotated under light. Surface preservation is critical, as copper coins can develop carbon spots or staining that reduce eye appeal and value. In circulated condition, the 1958 D penny will show wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair, as well as flattening of the wheat grains on the reverse. Despite wear, these coins carry historical charm because they truly participated in daily commerce during the late 1950s. For many collectors, circulated wheat cents have character and tell a story of real-world use.